So just bringing this back to the rugby and the mental health and the wellbeing side of things, what would you, I suppose we should be rounding up because we've been going nearly 40 minutes, 45 minutes now. As the leaders of the first team or the senior team, as we want to call them, what would you like to see put in place around mental health and wellbeing within the club? If you could, if you had a wish list or a one-stop shop you could go and do, what would you like the players to be able to access? Whether it's access to mental health guidance, if it's once a month webinars, whatever it would be. If there's something you could introduce, put you on the spot now, what would it be? Who wants to go first? No, you run.
I'll jump in. I think I really like the idea around kind of that once a month, almost drop in coffee and catch up, whatever you want to call it, beer and a chat, something around that really, around having that person there that you can just go and chat to if you want to. There's no kind of compulsory, you have to do it sort of thing around it. But by having that one or two people there that you can go and catch up with before training, etc., something like that. I think we're really good at it after training. I think that as the season progressed, we were really good at either staying up the club on a Tuesday or going down to the pub on a Thursday and really growing that bond between the players. And I think that really showed on the pitch as well. So yeah, something like that.
Culture really came together.
Oh, without a doubt, that culture of just being open with each other and being able to give each other feedback as well. And learning from that. I think last year was a really good learning experience for all involved. I'm sure Dan would agree as well as head coach. It's just having that openness and that honesty there as well. But having that person there that you can go and speak to and almost rely on that monthly basis if you need to, who's aware of maybe your situation, but also the people who are skilled or have the tools to signpost you onto other agencies if need be.
Yeah. Dan, anything you'd like to see or want to introduce?
Yeah, I mean, with my Sunday hat on, I guess it's a bit more awareness of the what's the way to phrase it these days? Awareness of who you've got in the squad. I mean, if I look at the year groups that I've managed over the last 2-3 years, I know that there is autism in there. I know that there is a number of different other labels that would get put on certain individuals, and they all learn in very different ways. I'm really pleased now that the RFU have got training guidance online that you can pretty much pick up any label that you could imagine and give yourself an understanding of how to coach that. I don't know how many of us coaches are actually reading that material. So I don't know how many of us coaches are really actually saying, right, how many of our kids have we got on the autism spectrum? Now, I know of kids that play at Hazelmere because it's a very accepting environment and they've got quite a few social and emotional difficulties that other clubs wouldn't be able to manage. And they'd kind of get a bit lost in other clubs. But I'd like us to be a bit more aware of some of that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm kind of getting used to it because I've got 2 kids that sit in that environment, so I get used to spotting some of it. I've worked in that environment, so I get used to spotting some of it. And then as the kids get older, you get other things come into it as well. You get the early drink, you get the early drugs come in. There are so many aspects of what goes on in an individual's life from a coach's point of view. You can't just sit out and go and say, right, this is what I was taught how to do like 10 years ago. It's changed now. That whole environment, that whole coaching environment has changed now. Danny, I know you've gone through your level 2 and you've kind of seen some of the ideas now that they talk about how to coach. But even the level 2 these days didn't really touch on those different individuals within a group.
I completely agree. From my kind of experience as a special needs teacher, specifically looking at PE, that I've kind of picked up on those things as well. But yeah, I think I agree with you there as well, Dan, of having that awareness and having, as a coach, knowing if you've got a young person coming to you, and we're seeing young people younger and younger being diagnosed with mental health issues. As I'm sure you'd agree, Matt, if you look at the stats, we're seeing more and more of it. Having that awareness as a coach and knowing how to support that young person is so key and so vital. And by having a program, if you want to call it that, like this, like we're all trying to put into place at the club, is going to be so important moving forward, not just for us to grow as professionals in our chosen areas, Matt, but also for the club as a whole.
Yeah, I agree. I think the younger we can start, obviously we're starting with the senior squad now, but I think the younger we can start these things, it's much easier to have a set of preventative measures than try and fix people who end up broken. If we can prevent and educate at the start of kids' lives rather than trying to fix older broken individuals, it will be a much easier journey. And I think that eventually we'll get there. But I think that's part of a coach. I think that's part of a coach's role now. I think that not only teaching them the skills that they need to play the game, but it's also the skills that they need to prepare for that game on a Saturday or a Sunday, which is, how have you got through the week? What have you managed to do? What are what could have affected that player's performance that week? And and we need, as coaches, we need to be aware of that, even at lower levels, even at kiddie levels. We need to be aware of what could be affecting people's performance levels. So are we asking the right questions, and are we giving the right feedback at that time? I suppose, from my point of view, it's equally as important as a skill set.
Or are we listening?
Yeah. Are we giving them the choice? And
particularly at the younger levels.
Yeah.
But if we can encourage the younger levels to start talking by the time they get up to kind of 14, 15, 16 and upwards, they'll be used to talking.
Yeah.
And a lot of, certainly with the rugby, the coaches follow the year groups up. So the current under 6 head coach will be their coach at under 16, in theory, because as coaches we move up through the year groups.
Yeah.
So that whole kind of role model piece or comfort piece, you become part of a family.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Well, unless anybody else has got anything else they want to say, it seems to be coming to a natural end. I don't know. Gents, have you got anything else you want to briefly ask about?
Matt, what would your message be to anybody that kind of feels that they need to get something off their chest?
Oh, obviously, ask someone, find someone, talk to someone would be, if that's what you want to do. I've been in a situation where I didn't know that I had people I could talk to. I didn't know I had people I could turn to. I felt I was a burden. That's not the case at all. The bigger burden for those people was me being in hospital the day after, being pumped full of drugs trying to keep me alive. That was the bigger burden for those guys. So if you are feeling low, you're always welcome to talk to me. Danny's a qualified mental health first aider. I am too. But you don't need to be qualified mental health first aiders. You just need to be able to listen and not judge. And finding the resources out there is what Danny and I can do. We know what we do. We know where to find them. We know the support services. So anybody who does turn to you, if you're an individual somebody turns to, come to me and Danny. We will point you in the right direction of all the resources that you can get hold of. But if you do want to talk to someone, just talk to someone. It will make the world of difference. If you don't want to talk to someone that there are loads and loads of places you can get hold of outside. There's Mind, there's Shout, there's all sorts of places. The Samaritans, all of those guys will do it. You don't need to know them. You don't have to talk about them. They will just listen. So go, if you are feeling low and you do want to talk to someone, just do it. It's hard and it takes some courage to open up and admit that there may be an issue. But if you hurt your knee, you go to the doctors. So if you hurt your head, go to the doctors as well. I suppose that's all I'd say. Danny, do you want anything to round up on?
No, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Matt. If you want to talk, find someone. People will listen. It's not a burden on them. And yeah, like you said, there's all the support services out there that are confidential and will just let you talk at them and support you through it.
Dan, do you want to do a quick roundup, or are you done?
No, you're good, mate. All good. I think you've covered it.
Thank you, gents. This has been enlightening. So thank you very much for joining us. And we'll see you all very soon. Cheers, guys.